In the ever-evolving landscape of global migration, the Australian government has announced a comprehensive overhaul of the 482 Temporary Skill Shortage (TSS) visa in 2025. This landmark reform aims to address the changing needs of the Australian labour market and strengthen the integrity of the skilled visa program, ensuring that it continues to serve the country's long-term economic and social interests. The 482 visa, introduced in 2018, has been a crucial component of Australia's skilled migration framework, allowing employers to sponsor foreign nationals to fill critical skill gaps within their organizations. However, as the economy and workforce dynamics have evolved, the government has recognized the need to adapt the 482 visa to better align with the country's shifting priorities. One of the primary drivers behind the 2025 changes is the government's desire to enhance the quality and relevance of the skills being brought into the country through the 482 visa program. Under the new framework, the list of eligible occupations for the 482 visa will undergo a rigorous review and update, with a focus on identifying those roles that are deemed genuinely critical to Australia's economic growth and development. Gone are the days of a broad, one-size-fits-all approach to the 482 visa. Instead, the government has introduced a more targeted and specialized system, with distinct visa streams catering to different skill levels and industry sectors. This targeted approach will ensure that the 482 visa is being utilized to attract the highest caliber talent, filling gaps that cannot be adequately addressed by the domestic workforce. At the heart of the 2025 changes to the 482 visa is a renewed emphasis on the role of employers in the skilled migration process. The government has recognized that the success of the 482 visa program is heavily dependent on the integrity and commitment of the sponsoring organizations, and as such, has implemented a range of measures to raise the bar for employer participation. Firstly, the 482 visa sponsorship process will now include a more comprehensive assessment of the employer's business operations, financial stability, and track record of compliance with labor and immigration laws. Businesses seeking to sponsor 482 visa holders will be required to demonstrate a genuine need for the specific skill sets being sought, as well as a commitment to providing adequate training, development, and career progression opportunities for their overseas hires. Furthermore, the government has introduced stricter requirements for the remuneration and working conditions offered to 482 visa holders. Employers will be required to not only meet the Temporary Skilled Migration Income Threshold, TSMIT, but also ensure that the salaries and benefits provided are on par with those offered to their Australian counterparts, effectively eliminating any potential for exploitation or undercutting of the local labor market. Another key aspect of the 2025 changes to the 482 visa program is the government's focus on upskilling and professional development. Recognizing the importance of building a sustainable and adaptable workforce, the new framework will mandate that employers engage in ongoing training and skills development initiatives for their 482 visa holders. This may include the provision of formal training programs, mentorship opportunities, and the facilitation of industry-specific certifications and qualifications. The government aims to ensure that 482 visa holders not only possess the skills needed to excel in their current roles, but also have the opportunity to acquire new capabilities that can contribute to their long-term career growth and the future competitiveness of the Australian workforce. Furthermore, the 482 visa program will now include a stronger emphasis on the transfer of knowledge and expertise from overseas workers to their Australian counterparts. Employers will be required to demonstrate how they are actively fostering knowledge sharing and collaborative learning environments, ensuring that the skills and insights brought by 482 visa holders are being effectively disseminated and integrated into the local workforce. One of the most significant changes to the 482 visa program in 2025 is the introduction of streamlined pathways to permanent residency for eligible visa holders. Recognizing the value of retaining skilled talent within the Australian labour market, the government has developed a more seamless transition from the 482 visa to permanent migration streams. Under the new framework, 482 visa holders who have demonstrated a strong commitment to their Australian employers, possess in-demand skills, and meet specific criteria related to remuneration, employment tenure, and language proficiency will be granted priority access to permanent residency pathways. This may include dedicated quotas or expedited processing for these applicants, making it easier for them to transition to a more secure and long-term status in the country. Additionally, the government has committed to enhancing the existing pathways for 482 visa holders to transition to other skilled migration visas, such as the Employer Nomination Scheme, KSS, and the Regional Sponsored Migration Scheme, RSMS. By providing clearer and more accessible routes to permanent residency, the government aims to incentivize skilled overseas workers to consider Australia as a long-term destination, contributing to the country's economic and social development. Alongside the changes to the 482 visa program structure and eligibility criteria, the government has also implemented a range of measures designed to enhance the overall integrity and compliance of the skilled migration framework. One of the key elements of this reform is the introduction of a more robust monitoring and enforcement regime. The government will deploy specialized compliance teams to conduct regular audits and inspections of 482 visa-sponsoring employers, ensuring that they are adhering to the program's requirements and not engaging in any exploitative or fraudulent practices. Furthermore, the penalties and consequences for non-compliance have been significantly strengthened. Employers found to be in breach of the 482 visa program's rules, whether through underpayment of wages, failure to provide appropriate training, or misrepresentation of their business needs, will face severe sanctions, including the potential for fines, the revocation of their sponsorship status, and even criminal prosecution in egregious cases. In addition to the employer-focused compliance measures, the government has also enhanced the scrutiny applied to individual 482 visa applicants. The visa application process will now include more comprehensive background checks, skills assessments, and labor market testing to ensure that only genuinely qualified and suitable candidates are granted entry. Recognizing the far-reaching implications of the 2025 changes to the 482 visa program, the Australian government has committed to a collaborative approach that actively engages with a diverse range of stakeholders, including employers, industry bodies, labor unions, and migrant communities. Throughout the development and implementation of the new 482 visa framework, the government has pledged to maintain open lines of communication, soliciting feedback and input from these key stakeholders. This collaborative effort aims to ensure that the reforms strike the right balance between the needs of the Australian labor market, the interests of employers, and the rights and well-being of overseas workers. Furthermore, the government has committed to providing comprehensive support and guidance to employers, helping them navigate the complexities of the revised 482 visa program and ensuring a smooth transition to the new requirements. This may include the development of dedicated resources, the establishment of advisory services, and the facilitation of training and capacity-building initiatives.